Whew. It's a rainy Sunday here in Toronto. I guess that's a little bit of a external reflection of the internal state of some people in the world, or at least on the continent at the moment. A sad day, I suppose. Pathetic fallacy, you might say. There was an attempt on the former president's life. This kind of thing does not happen very often. Assassination attempts. It's the stuff of political action thrillers. Doesn't happen in real life very often, thankfully. But it does touch on a few videos that I've made not too long ago. Some of the subjects that I've spoken about in those presentations. Men's mental health and Trump derangement syndrome. It seems that a young man who was suffering, most likely, from maybe a few mental health challenges and definitely some severe Trump derangement syndrome, climbed on a roof, took aim, and loosed a few shots. One of them that actually made contact, that took flesh from that orange devil. Or so this young man probably thought about the former president, and maybe many of his fellow citizens in the United States. A devil to lead a group of demons, which are not really demons, and he is not really a devil. Trump is just a man. Trump supporters are just people, men and women, citizens of the United States, fellow citizens of this young man. And the thing about men and some advice that you get, messages that echo through subcultures, through perceptions of masculinity, don't get help, don't talk about your problems, take action, right? I hear this a lot, that men shouldn't speak about what they've gone through or what they're struggling with, that they should take action in their life, and that's what this young man did. He took action. He took a hunk of flesh from the former president's ear, nearly a portion of his skull. Very frightening stuff. The various forms of derangement, the spirit attachments that people often don't even know that they have. We live in a time where something that some refer to as spiritual warfare is raging hot and heavy in many people's lives and hearts and minds. And some succumb to the pressure of these battles, these internal battles. Many do not have the tools or the understanding to even know that they are pawns in this war. You might say a fight between good and evil. You might say a battle between self and other. But there is a way. There are ways. There are methods. There are responsibilities that can be taken for these kinds of battles that wage within our hearts, for these unbearable, in some cases, struggles that men go through, that sometimes they take dire, disturbing action on. So, as much as it is true in some cases, men should suck it up, not complain, and take action in their life to improve it or solve whatever the problems that they face are. Sometimes the action that must be taken is communication, is trying to sort out that split within. And to a certain degree, trying to sort out the split without in American culture between civilians. It exists in its own flavor and its own form in Canada as well and many other parts of the world, as we see different political leaders come and go, different trends of liberal or conservative or whatever the comparable end of the spectrum in different countries seem to be shifting. The battle is raging. And on all sides of the spectrum, there are legitimate concerns and legitimate grievances. But we all, man or woman, or however you identify, we need to take responsibility for those skewed perceptions, for things like Trump derangement syndrome, for hatred of your other, whether that's a Trump supporter, or a conservative, or a liberal, or any other label that you might put on another. We must take responsibility for those skewed and twisted perceptions before that twisting puts so much pressure on our souls that we break and take dire evil actions like this young man took. So I just wanted to make a quick video to address this point in history, which hopefully is a rare occurrence of such an event, something that is isolated enough that it will go down as a memory of, in the case of the States, a kind of national trauma. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you sit on the spectrum of political allegiance, this will make what some might call the Orange Devil, and what others might see as a hero, it will make that man definitely more revered, more powerful, and increase the perception of his bravery. And from the small amount of footage that I saw just after Trump lost a piece of his ear, he seemed to kind of have it together. He seemed to hold his emotions and his frame together. And I'm sure, as traumatized as many of his supporters are, their confidence in him is even more galvanized. This race to see who steers the free world, as Americans would like to perceive their place on this planet, we'll see as it heats up if compromise, peace, and a meeting of the others can happen. Because we all live in this place, this little blue dot. This is our home. We're all just fractions, shards of the infinite consciousness, having an individual experience, all from our own unique perspective. Right? This is our home. It's a small place with limited space, limited resources, but filled with many beautiful sparks of consciousness. So let's appreciate it. Let's not be quite so severe in our view of those evil others, while we forge on, protect ourselves from those that try to take advantage of us and harm us, and do our best to find a middle way. Peace to you all. Remember that. Very important right now. And good luck communicating, sorting out, and facing your struggles. I love you. Take care.